All right, if you're a leader trying to figure out how to get real, lasting value from AI, then listen up. This right here, this is your strategic brief. We're cutting through all the hype to give you a concrete framework for building a smarter, more effective organization, one decision at a time. Let's start with a statement that might feel a little controversial, because it's true. While it seems like everyone is still chasing the so-called perfect prompt, the world's top organizations have already moved on. They've figured out that just talking to the AI, well, that's just table stakes. The real game-changing advantage is somewhere else entirely.
And here's the cold, hard truth behind that idea. If the only new skill your team has is writing prompts, without the critical thinking to back it up, you're not actually creating value. You're just accelerating the potential for mistakes. You're basically making errors at machine speed. And let me tell you, that is definitely not a competitive advantage. So here's our roadmap. First, we'll dive into what we're calling the prompting trap. Then we'll get into what the real differentiator is for high-performing teams. After that, I'll introduce you to a powerful mental model, the TRACE framework, and we'll break down exactly how it works. And finally, we'll zoom out and talk about what this all means for you as a leader. So, what is this prompting trap I'm talking about? Well, it's this belief that some magic combination of words is the key to unlocking AI's full potential. It's the path everyone seems to be on. But while most folks are stuck there, the true high performers have already veered off, focusing on a much, much deeper challenge. And that brings us to the real prize. The goal here isn't just to create a cool demo for your next board meeting. It's about building a real, durable advantage in your operations, something your competitors can't just copy and paste. And the scale of this opportunity is, well, it's massive. Get this. McKinsey estimates that generative AI can automate up to 70% of business activities. 70%! That number is staggering. But, and this is the part you'll really need to hear, automation by itself is not the goal. You see, the real value isn't just about making things go faster. It's about creating these intelligent systems where humans and AI work together. The AI brings the speed, the raw horsepower. But the human brings the irreplaceable judgment, the strategic oversight. That's how you ensure all this automation is actually moving the business in the right direction. And this is exactly where the puck is going. Gartner is predicting that in just a couple of years, the big differentiator won't be who has the fanciest AI model. Nope. It'll be about who uses that AI to make the best decisions. That's the new competitive frontier. They're calling it decision intelligence. So the big question is, how do you build that intelligence? How do you get there? Well, this is where we introduce the TRACE framework. I want you to think of it less like a tool and more like a mental operating system for everyone on your team whenever they use AI. Simply put, TRACE is a 5-step process. It's a mental checklist for auditing AI outputs so you can make smarter decisions. And the name itself is the acronym: Triangulate, Root Cause, Analyze, Context, and Explain. It's designed to be simple and memorable, a way to bake critical thinking into every single interaction with AI. Okay, enough with the theory. Let's see how this actually works in the real world. We're going to break down each piece of the TRAC framework step by step. First up, T is for triangulate. This is a big one. It means the days of just taking an AI's word for it are over. The AI's output, that's just your first data point. From there, you have to check it against your internal base, your own company data, your policies, and then check it against external reality, trusted third-party sources. You stop being a passive user and start being an active investigator. Next is R for root cause. You know, when you get a junk output from an AI, the knee-jerk reaction for most of us is to blame the model and just hit regenerate. But top performers, they do the exact opposite. They blame the input. They ask why to figure out what went wrong. Was my prompt unclear? Did I forget to give it crucial context? The big insight here is that most AI problems are actually human input problems. A is for analyze the difference. To really prove the ROI of AI, you have to measure the impact. So for example, maybe a workflow used to take 3 hours, and now with AI, it only takes 40 minutes. I mean, that's a fantastic efficiency gain, right? But believe it or not, that's not the most important question you should be asking. This right here, this is the critical shift. We need to move from an efficiency mindset to an effectiveness mindset. The real ROI isn't the time you saved, it's what you did with that time. How was that reclaimed time reinvested to produce a better outcome, a smarter strategy, a higher quality decision? That is the metric that really moves the needle. Next is C, for context. And honestly, this is our human superpower. An AI exists in a vacuum. It doesn't understand risk or company culture or office politics, but we do. Applying context, like knowing if a task is a low-risk brainstorm or a high-risk cybersecurity check, is what determines if the AI is just a simple assistant or a truly trusted advisor.
And finally, E is for explain. An AI's output is just raw data. It's our job as humans to turn that data into influence. So please, never just copy and paste a wall of AI text into an email. Your job is to be the translator. State the conclusion, the so what. Explain the rationale, the why. And define the next step, the what now. That is how machine logic gets turned into business momentum.
Okay, let's zoom back out to that 30,000-foot view. We've broken down the framework piece by piece. So what's the mandate for you as a leader? Well, it's about making a fundamental shift in perspective. This slide really says it all. Most organizations are treating AI like a simple plug-in, using it for small tasks like writing an email or summarizing a document. But the high performers, they're embedding frameworks like Trace into their core operating model. They're using it to systematically improve their data, their decisions, and their accountability. And McKinsey's research totally backs this up. The companies that are seeing the biggest, most significant impact on their bottom line are the ones that treat AI not just as another tool, but as a fundamental shift in how they run their business. That is the key to unlocking real enterprise-level value. So, we'll leave you with this one last question to take back to your team. As a leader, this is the thing you need to be asking yourself. Are you training your people on the fleeting skill of talking to a machine? Or are you investing in the timeless, critical skill of building human judgment? Because in the age of AI, that is going to be the only advantage that truly matters.